Cześć ludzie, what's up people? Hola, VIGO'S here. Welcome to another episode. Guys, what a beautiful sunny day. Look at that sun. I'm here in Pretoria, South Africa. Those apartments that you see there, that's where I live. And today I want to do a different type of episode. I'm going to do kind of like a vlog style. I thought, hey, I almost never do vlog style of content, but I think this is a great opportunity to bring you guys along and talk about this subject: how Europe killed my American dream. So guys, this episode I wanted to talk to you about it because I was reflecting on it, because I found some old pictures of my dad when he was living in the United States back in the 90s, and some older pictures also of myself and different trips that I did to the United States. And it got me thinking how much I really wanted to go to the United States. I was very fortunate to be able to visit many times from an early age, but I had this fascination with living in the United States. The culture. I used to play a lot of baseball, but you know, before we talk about that, it's important that we talk about the importance, the relevance of American culture in all the different cultures of the world, especially during the 70s, 80s, 90s, and you know, it was no different in the Dominican Republic. We had the TV shows from America, we had the products from America. I remember the first time that I got to drink Coca-Cola, I think it was Pepsi-Cola, in a can. It was such an abstract concept to me that I would only see on television. So ever since then, I was always very interested in not only exploring the culture, but exploring everything that the United States of America had to offer me. I've spoken about this with my wife plenty of times, and she tells me that it used to be very similar in Poland. She used to consume American media, American shows like Friends, all those shows that molded who we were as teenagers and as young adults. I used to be heavily into baseball, and the Dominican Republic is the biggest export of baseball talent to the Major League Baseball. And that is a quite remarkable thing if you take into consideration that our population is around 10 million. So I played a lot of baseball. I was a very big fan. And for a person that loves baseball, the United States is like the epitome. At that point, I had already visited. I think I was there for the first time when I was, I don't know, roughly like 8 or 9 years old. And it had music. You see, as a musician that I am, to me, discovering American bands such as Green Day, Metallica, Nirvana, Soundgarden, it was something truly magical. And I wanted to be there. I wanted to be in that reality. And I would spend days and nights daydreaming how my life would look like if I was living in this country. When I finished high school, I proceeded to go to university in Dominican Republic, and after I finished my graduate degree, I started thinking maybe this is my chance. Maybe if I have good grades, maybe if my parents can save enough, maybe if I get a student loan, I can manage to migrate to this place that I've been dreaming for so long. And I started looking. I looked very hard. I was looking for programs on the subject that I wanted to master, and I was looking for a scholarship. And to be honest, my dream got shattered pretty quickly, because for a 2-year master's degree in the University of Texas or something like that, I think I found 3 universities, you were looking at around $200,000, and that was crazy money. It's crazy money right now. Imagine back then. And this was the year 2003. So something important that happened was that precisely during that time, there was a very big influx of Dominican students going to Spain to do master degrees because the prices were good, the programs were also high quality, and although it was not so easy to get a visa to go to Spain, it was still a lot easier than it was in the United States. So I had one of my best friends trying to convince me. He was talking to me how Spain was so awesome that I should go and I should see it, and I didn't want anything to do with Spain. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I just never saw myself living in Europe. That was not what I really wanted to do. We used to get one channel in Dominican cable from Spain, and it was Televisión Española, Spanish television, and it was the most old school content that you can ever see. I don't know, I just was not attracted to it whatsoever. Now that I've been living in Europe for such a long time, I can see that it was not so bad at all. And then something truly fascinating happened. I ran out of options. I could not go to the United States like I wanted. I just didn't have the money, I didn't have the means. So I had to look into the option of going to Spain. And in the year 2004, I enrolled in a master's degree in the Universidad Complutense de Madrid. And I landed in Madrid in October 2004. And I will tell you something, from that day on, my life was never the same. It was unlike anything I thought. I knew geography, I knew history, but it's not the same to see it. It's not the same also to live it. I realized that it was a completely different world. They were modern, they had modern things, but they never abandoned their history. They never abandoned their culture. So as I started living in Europe, my life just changed. Everything that I wanted, the culture, the music, the clothing, that the way people live their life in a way more relaxed manner. It was, I mean, not that Latinos were not relaxed. Dominican Republic has gotten very Americanized in the way that we approach work, you know, from Monday to Saturday, and there's like this hectic vibe happening. And it's something that would surprise you because you would never imagine that in a country where you have coconut trees and beaches and everything, there is anything other than, you know, constant holidays. But it's not the truth. So what happened was that I started traveling around Europe. When I was living there, I used the opportunity to visit other countries like Italy, like France, and I checked other cities in Spain, and they all had such a different vibe from each other. And that, you see, that is something that is truly magnificent about Europe. Everything, every little city, every little town has its own vibe. And I don't know if you cannot say the same about the United States, because each state has its own thing going on for it, but I don't think it's quite like Europe. I started getting used to the old pubs, to the old architecture, the old infrastructure, and it didn't bother me anymore. I think that was a major moment in my American dream being shattered. I started thinking more and more about what it would be like to live in other places, in other cities, maybe other countries, people with different languages, different customs. I lived in Spain for a total amount of 4 years, and that was the moment in my life when I met Carolina, my wife. We met in the streets of Madrid, very random. I think we recorded an episode where we explained what happened. I'll try to find a link and put it here or up there. That was the beginning of the end for my dream of ever going to the United States. I made Europe my home, and there's nothing quite like it. So actually getting together and marrying a European had a massive impact in my dream. It was not that she didn't want it to, it was not that she prevented it, but she showed me another part of Europe that I had not discovered yet. Central Europe, Eastern Europe. And I learned about the people. I learned about so many things that I did not know existed. just because I had the American perspective. And to be fair, I think it was the best thing. Today, I would never trade it. I would never change a single thing. I think today my life is much better, and that doesn't mean that living in the US is bad. As a matter of fact, I think it's fantastic. I just think that my life turned out the way that it was supposed to turn out. And because of it, I am who I am. I wanted to go live in one country, and I ended up living in 4. As I sit here and reflect about my American dream, I realized that having moved to Europe shattered that dream, but it did for a reason. And today, although I am a Latino and will always be a Latino, a very big part of my heart is a European too. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked it. I'm really looking forward to making a lot of content and discovering the beautiful continent that Europe is. I have so many countries that I have not visited yet, but I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna take you guys with me. We're gonna discover that. Maybe we're gonna create a VIGO'S Dad travel series, and I hope you are ready for what is in store for us. See you guys on the next episode. Adios.